There are two kinds of voices that rise from the earth every day, the voice of prayer and the voice of complaint. One moves heaven to action. The other shuts the doors of divine favor. Both come from people in pain. Both come from hearts that are waiting, but only one pleases God. In Luke 18, Jesus told the story of a widow who kept coming to a judge, pleading for justice. She came once. He ignored her. She came again. He dismissed her. She came a third time. Still no answer. But she refused to give up. Eventually, the judge said, "Even though I don't fear God or care about people, this woman will wear me out if I don't answer her." Jesus wasn't teaching us to beg. He was teaching us the power of persistence. Persistence in prayer is proof that you still believe, even when you don't yet see the answer. There's a thin line between a cry and a complaint. One invites God, the other offends him. Look at Hannah in 1 Samuel 1. She had every reason to complain. Her rival mocked her. Her womb was closed. Her heart was broken. But she didn't murmur, she prayed. The Bible says she was in bitterness of soul and prayed to the Lord and wept sore. She poured out her pain, not her frustration. She told God what she felt, but she never accused him of being unfair. That's the secret. She prayed honestly, but not angrily. And when Eli the priest told her, "Go in peace," something shifted. By the next chapter, she held her miracle. Samuel, a prophet to the nations. Now look at the Israelites. They too were in pain, hungry, tired, and uncertain. But instead of crying to God in faith, they turned their frustration into accusation. They said in Numbers 14, "If only we had died in Egypt or in this wilderness." And God replied, "As surely as I live, I will do to you the very thing I heard you say." Their own words became their judgment. They got exactly what they spoke, death in the wilderness. When we complain, we forget that God listens, not only to our prayers, but also to our murmurs. What we call venting can sometimes become a verbal prophecy over our own lives. Persistent prayer isn't about repeating words. It's about refusing to quit. It's the kind of prayer Elijah prayed on Mount Carmel. He prayed once, no rain. Twice, still nothing. 5 times, silence. 6 times, still nothing. But on the 7th time, his servant said, "I see a small cloud rising from the sea." And Elijah shouted, "That's it." Because faith doesn't need a storm. It just needs a sign. The rain didn't come because Elijah prayed one powerful prayer. It came because Elijah didn't stop praying when heaven stayed quiet. Sometimes God delays to test the strength of your trust. He already knows what you need, but he wants to see if your faith will survive the waiting. When you pray once and stop, it shows interest. When you pray again and again, it shows intimacy. Persistent prayer says, "Lord, even if you don't answer today, I'll still believe tomorrow." And God loved that heart. He may delay the answer, but he never ignores the persistence. You may say, "But what if I'm tired of praying?" Then turn your complaint into prayer. Instead of saying, "God, why me?" say, "God, teach me what this means." Instead of saying, "I can't take it anymore," say, "Lord, give me strength to endure." Every complaint can be rewritten as a prayer of faith. The difference is in the attitude, not the words. Philippians 2 verse 14 says, "Do everything while complaining or arguing." And 1 Thessalonians 5 verse 17 says, "Pray without ceasing." Notice that the same book tells us both what to stop doing and what to start doing. Stop complaining. Start praying. Heaven reacts to prayer. In Acts 16, Paul and Silas were in prison. They could have complained. After all, they were beaten and chained for doing God's work. But instead, they prayed and sang hymns. And at midnight, heaven couldn't stay silent. An earthquake shook the prison. The chains fell off and doors flew open. Prayer changes situations, but praise changes atmosphere. They didn't wait for deliverance to sing. They sang until deliverance came. Every believer has 2 voices inside. One says, "I've prayed enough." The other says, "I'll pray again." One gives up after silence. The other prays until something shifts. Which one are you? Complaints come from tired hearts, but persistence comes from trusting hearts. Ask yourself today, have my prayers turned into complaints? Do I still trust God even when the answer hasn't come? Remember this. God can handle your honesty, but not your unbelief. He can listen to your tears, but not your rebellion. Even Jesus prayed persistently. In Gethsemane, he prayed 3 times, saying, "Father, if it be possible, let this cup pass from me." But then he surrendered, "Yet not my will, but yours be done." Persistence led to surrender, and surrender led to victory. Persistent prayer opens doors that complaints can only slam shut. When you persist in prayer, you're not trying to convince God. You're aligning yourself with His timing. When you complain, you're saying, "God, you failed me." When you pray persistently, you're saying, "God, I still trust you." So today, make a choice. When your faith is tested, don't complain, converse. When your heart is weary, don't murmur, kneel. And when heaven seems silent, don't quit, pray again. Because in God's time, persistence always pays off. James 5 verse 16 says, "The earnest prayer of a righteous person has great power and produces wonderful results." The next time you're tempted to complain, remember this. The same breath that could form a complaint can also birth a miracle if you turn it into prayer. Don't waste your words. Make them count in heaven. Persistent prayer builds altars. Complaints build walls. And God always visits the altar, not the wall. Please like and subscribe for more.